Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you for a Tuesday album review today, and I'm sorry about last night's Community Tab post. That's just going on right now, and I don't want to go into detail here because certain things. But if you saw it, then you know that I meant what I said. The shit that's going on. So, pretty much this is for a Tuesday album review for My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade, for season I believe it's season 5, episode 3, if I remember correctly. I kind of forget and lose my track on what season I'm on, to be honest. But I will go into discussion about what I listened to for this full album. I'm just trying to find the list where I wrote it down. Give me 1 second, guys. And then we'll continue on with the review. So, where are you? I wrote it somewhere around here. Here it is. Yeah, season 5, episode 3. I finally found it. Sorry for the wait. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for all 14 songs and let you know my thoughts on My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade. So let's dive into this album review. Now, basically, if the audio cuts out a bit, it's because my laptop's being a pain in the ass. It sometimes does that. So, pretty much, the first song is The End, and personally, I really like the intro track. It's pretty good. I can relate to the lyrics a bit, in a sense, but I think Gerard's vocals are really good in this track, in my personal opinion, so I'd give this song a 5 out of 5. Good intro track. Then comes the second song, Dead, and I really enjoyed this track for what it went for, and pretty much, with how the lyrics are sounding and just the way Gerard's singing it. It sounds pretty good with how he's singing it, and the meaningful lyrics sound interesting. So 5 out of 5. It's kind of messed up stuff, but sometimes I think this album was pertaining to death, is what it was. The Three Cheers was the revenge one. Then Death was the Black Parade, and then Life is the next album that I will be reviewing eventually, in due time. Probably in the next season of Tuesday album reviews you can expect it on. So 5 out of 5. This Is How I Disappear is a pretty good song. Really like the overall flow to the track, and just the drum work is great, the guitar work's great. Gerard's vocals are amazing in my opinion, and I really like what it's trying to say to the listener with the lyrics. So 5 out of 5. The Sharpest Lives is the next song, and it's right before the Welcome to the Black Parade song, which is one of my all-time favorite songs. The Sharpest Lives is pretty good. I mean, there's some lyrics that kind of throw me off, but other than that, I think the track overall performed pretty well with what it was going for. I mean, Gerard put in some pretty odd lyrics, if I'm being honest, that kind of make you cringe, but other than that, I think the track overall performed pretty well, so 5 out of 5. Welcome to the Black Parade is a pretty strong track, one of my all-time favorites. I like how the melody changes at the end of the song when he really tries with his vocals. Gerard does, and the drum work and guitar work's pretty good. It goes into certain sections in the song that sound really good, mixing and production-wise, and just instrumentally it sounds really good. So this was a well done song for what they did for 5 minutes and 12 seconds. So 5 out of 5. I Don't Love You is a pretty strong track too. When I first heard it, the emotion in Gerard's vocals sound really good. It's about a relationship issues thing, and it kind of ended, and he's just kind of done, and it's just kind of the downward spiral of a relationship ending. So, and basically, the song says it itself what it's trying to pertain to. So the lyrics tell a story itself. So 5 out of 5 for I Don't Love You. I really like this track. Gerard's vocals are very emotional in this one with how he's singing it. House of Wolves is a solid one, not my favorite, but it's alright. It's a good one. But there are some lyrics that kind of get a little iffy with how they sound execution-wise, but I think Gerard's vocals pretty much do very well in my opinion with how the song's executing overall, so I think I'd give this a 4.5 out of 5. It's a solid track, just not my favorite, but it's one of the least favorites in my opinion. It's not a terrible song, just it's good in its own way. Cancer is a pretty strong track. Really like this 2 minute and 22-second song, talking about his family that are going through cancer, and it's pretty sad, emotional track with the lyrics and how they're sounding, with how Gerard's singing it. So really digging this track with the overall emotion and how it makes you feel. So 5 out of 5. Mama is a pretty strong track. I mean, there's some lyrics that kind of get a little off key with how it's executing, and just the weirdness in the track is just kind of iffy, but I think the track overall is strong in its own way, so 5 out of 5. And the feature artist, Lisa Minnelli, Minnelli, I meant to say. Sorry, I'm saying it wrong. Minnelli. Minnelli is the featured artist. She doesn't come in till like the 3 minute part of the song, the bridge part of the track. But 5 out of 5. Sleep is a pretty strong track. I like Gerard's vocals in this track. Sounds really good, and the overall production and just how instrumentally it's sounding. Really digging this track. 5 out of 5. Teenagers does sound a little juvenile, but in a way, I think they did pretty well with it for what they were going for. It's a good track, not my favorite, but it's good. So solid one, 4.5 out of 5. Disenchanted is a very emotional and heartfelt song about, I think when I looked into it, it's about his brother having bipolar and manic depression. When I looked into it and read into some articles about it, I don't know if it's true or not, but the lead singer, Gerard Way, said something about that, and that really got me thinking, holy crap, this song is so relatable to what I go through sometimes, in a sense. Not in certain aspects, but in a sense, it is very relatable and a very emotional track, so 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed the lyrics and what they were saying to me, pretty much, or what he was singing it to me mostly. Then comes Famous Last Words, and that's the track where he's gonna keep living and all that, and just go home and all that, and do his own thing, and just live life to the fullest. Pretty emotional track too, with how it's sounding, but I think it's a pretty strong one. I like how Gerard Way's vocals sound very emotional, and I can really feel for this song for how it sounds, so 5 out of 5. Then comes the hidden track towards the end of the CD version, Blood. I listened to the edited version, unfortunately, when I looked it up on YouTube, and I was a little disappointed when he said fuck, but he didn't say it. Because I was like, I don't like that edited shit. So, it just had the when he was saying the F word. It's just like, seriously, YouTube censorship? Really? It's just ridiculous. So, pretty much 5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, I think My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade, pretty strong album. It's pretty good. Like I said, this album depicts about death. That's the meaning behind the album. And then the next album is I think, Killjoys thing or whatever. I can't remember the album title. But Dangerous Days, I think it's called, if I remember correctly. It's the 2010 album. It was their last album. So they haven't made an album in a while, and I don't even know if I see them coming back for an actual studio album. They do, because it's been a while, but still, The Black Parade is a pretty strong album. Really dig this album. It's one of my favorite albums from the 2006 era. It's a pretty good album. I mean, there's some songs that I have a disconnect with, but overall, it is pretty strong for what it went for. So, If I were to give this album an overall score, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's a really good album. I really enjoyed it. There are some issues with certain songs. Like, I think the only ones I had a problem with was House of Wolves and Teenagers. I mean, Mama did have some slight issues, but I think instrumentally it sounded really good, and Gerard's vocals sounded really interesting in a weird way, but in a sense, I think this track did perform pretty good. So, 9 out of 10 for My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade, one of my favorite 2006 albums, in my personal opinion, that came out almost 20 years ago. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching this Tuesday album review.